You're listening to Travel Nursing and Allied Life, hosted by TravCon. Welcome to the Exhibitor Minute of the TravCon podcast. My name's Michelle and I'm your host today. Now, with us today is Fusion Marketplace, and you might wonder, what is Fusion Marketplace? And we're going to find out about that, what they offer. We're going to talk about job boards all throughout this podcast, so stay tuned for that. With me today is Justina Tesmar and Carrie Polak from Fusion Marketplace. Welcome and thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you.
Hi.
Thanks for having us.
Where is Fusion Marketplace located? What state?
We're in Omaha, Nebraska, right in the middle.
You're in the heart of a staffing agency there. There's quite a lot. Now, a lot of us know Fusion Medical Staffing. We see them at TravCon every year. They're a really well-known staffing company. But now we have this new offshoot, which just debuted last year at TravCon, and it's called Fusion Marketplace. Can you tell us a little bit about what it is and why it's different from Fusion Medical Staffing?
So Fusion Medical Staffing is, the staffing part of Fusion, and Fusion Marketplace is really the job board that we have put together, where we partner with a number of different agencies on the platform, where travelers can review positions that a number of different agencies have available.
When you go to almost every staffing company, when you go to their website, they all have a job board and they list a variety of jobs, but it's almost exclusively the jobs that they provide from their own company. And I believe Fusion Marketplace is a little different from what I understand, because you actually open the doors to many other companies to be able to showcase their jobs on your site.
Yeah. So Fusion Marketplace is just that. It's a marketplace where travelers are in control. So the traveler gets to choose which agency they want to work with on Fusion Marketplace. So Fusion Medical Staffing is just a partner like all of our other partners on the platform. So as a traveler, you get to see the multiple jobs from multiple agency partners all under one roof and apply to any of those agency partners, whichever you choose, right? When you're on the job board looking.
That really opens up the whole gamut across the country, because you get to choose from multiple companies.
Yeah.
That's great. How does it work when a traveler goes to Fusion Marketplace? Walk me through the process of how they go through something like that when there could be multiple companies.
I guess we could start from the beginning too, because I don't think we talked about that part. So how Fusion Marketplace came to fruition was we had travelers come in-house. We had like a traveler advisory. We reached out to travelers. We wanted to know like what they wanted to see from a platform. And what they said was transparency, a better job search, and faster applications. So that's what we delivered, right? So we started with that transparency so that when we onboard the partners, we ask for a number of pieces of information. We ask for facility information. We ask for the details of the start date, assignment length, the pay details, all that kind of stuff. We want to make sure that the pay that you see on the site is something that if you were going to pick up the phone and call a recruiter from one of the agencies, it would be the same number. So we take a lot of time and pride in the pay that we show on the site, because we want it to be accurate of the pay that would be given to you if you called. So for a traveler, what they can do is come to the marketplace, create a profile. And we do say create a profile because we know positions open and close so quickly these days that if you don't create a profile, it's really hard to get that information to your recruiter in a timely manner to still get submitted to that job. So we say build a profile, get all of your information in one spot, own it, right? That's your option to own that information and keep it organized, because we also know that there's so many pieces to that puzzle when you're applying. And then you get to apply to any agency that you choose. So just because you create a profile on Fusion Marketplace does not mean you're going to get reached out to. You're in the driver's seat, you choose. So once you apply to an agency, then you'll be contacted for that specific location, that assignment, whatever it would be. And only then.
So creating a profile does not put your name out there. It stays hidden until you choose to submit to a position. Okay, that's good. When creating the profile makes sense, because that makes your application process, possible in seconds versus like half an hour every time you have to do it. So it saves the information. Can you also put in all your certifications and your paperwork and store that in there so you don't have to keep uploading that?
Yep, absolutely. We have a document section where you can put in all of your certifications and licenses and any documents really that you want to save. And it'll all be saved within your profile there.
Okay, good. So the traveler goes ahead, they get on there, they fill out their profile, they're ready to go. What's the next step?
The next step is searching for kind of what they're looking for. We have a multiple different ways to be able to search on the site. They can search in by typing exactly what they're looking for. They can use a drop-down filter, searching by category or location. So, I mean, the possibilities are endless there of just trying to figure out exactly what they're wanting to find, and then reviewing all the different positions that are available and deciding which one to apply for.
And I'm sure now you've been doing it for just over a year. I'm sure, and you're very good at asking travelers and getting feedback. What kind of new features have you added in the past year that have made it easier or better or changed how Fusion Marketplace runs?
Do you want to go for that one, Carrie, or would you like me to?
Sure. I mean, yeah, I feel like I don't want to steal anyone's thunder because we just released our application. So that's huge. We've been working on that for a very long time. So that is something that we just, released last week and are marketing towards right now. So that's exciting.
Last week. That is exciting.
Yeah. So it's huge. So that's one thing we've been focusing on. And then, I mean, there's a whole gamut of things like ratings and reviews for your recruiter. So you know who you're engaging with, how people have received them and worked with them in the past.
Nice.
So it's just that transparency piece we're trying to bring to each aspect on Marketplace.
Mm-hmm. We are working through making the profile much easier to complete. So there are so many different pieces in that profile, really stepping the travelers through, working through filling that out. So that'll be another big feature that we're getting ready to release here soon. But as Carrie mentioned, the native app. So being able to go to the App Store or the Google Play and downloading the mobile instance of Marketplace is we're really excited about that to get that into people's hands so that they can search from their mobile phones in a really convenient way.
And so many of the searching is done by mobile because the traveler's on the road, they're at work, they're in the grocery store, they're in the lineup. So having an app makes total sense to do that. What was the impetus with the application? Why is that? How does that fit into the picture?
I think it's easy to see that everything is mobile, right? We knew that the majority of the users that were using Marketplace were using it from a mobile device. So if we can enhance that experience to really give it a mobile feel rather than, a desktop feel when you're on an actual computer was really important to be able to step into that, to make that convenience for the travelers available.
So it sounds like you're really adding features on this, and Fusion Marketplace is much more than just a simple job board, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Is it are you going to add chat features or discussion boards or anything like that? Has there been thought about that?
We have a lot of visions for Marketplace, and we have grand visions, right, of what it could be in the future. I think a community aspect is something in the very near future we want to focus on, because we know that is something that everybody's, kind of lacking, that connection with COVID and with what everybody's been going through the past 2 years. So we really want to have a support system and a place where people can go to lean on one another and reach out and understand and answer questions and engage. So we know that that's very important and something that we want to provide for the travelers on Marketplace.
Yeah, that's great to be able to become, and I know everyone's sort of striving to become that central point to be able to provide everything, and you can't provide everything, but really nice to be able to have reviews for recruiters, reviews for companies. You get a sense of what you're going into because we all live off of reviews. You can't personally review everything, and you want to know going into it, have other people had good experiences. So that's great. What types we know there's almost definitely, it's all travel nursing jobs, but do you offer jobs for allied and therapists jobs?
Not really advanced practice on the site, but we do have It's broken down in categories that are easily searchable for the travelers. So you'll see we have like techs and then RN, LPN, CNAs, therapy, lab, cardio, radiology. That's our division. So
yeah, that's great. You really cover the gamut. If you have the therapists in there and the allied, that's great. What is some of the feedback you've had over the year with the travelers using the site?
We've had a lot of positive feedback. We've had a lot of people who've really said that it simplified their job search, made it a lot easier to review all the different positions with multiple agencies. So they've really appreciated the seamlessness of having that at their fingertips.
That's great. And what trends do you see with positions happening this month?
So what trends do we see? I would say we did, we all know, like with COVID, we saw the job market restricting a little bit. It seems to be turning around and coming back. So it's a good thing for the travelers, right? There are more and more options each day for opportunities across all agencies. So I would say jobs are trending upward again, which is great because that's just more options for the travelers.
It is. Everybody thinks that, oh my goodness, COVID's ending, our jobs are going to disappear, but the flu's coming back, everything's coming back already. We'll be into September, October, and those will pick up as well. So there's always the concern that jobs disappear and people are unsure of what's happening, but the volume never seems to slow down much. There might be some ups and downs, but otherwise it's amazing how the demand continues as more and more travelers, more and more staff leave their jobs to go traveling, which leaves more and more openings for travelers. And I wanted to circle back in terms of agencies. How do you choose which agencies go on your marketplace and share jobs?
Yeah, so we've done a number of different ways. We have a lot of relationships with agencies. We've always, had friends in the industry. So in Fusion Medical Staffing, we're competitive by nature, but we're also, we want everybody to win. We know that traveler is the most important person. So we look for other agencies who also focus on the traveler, right? Traveler driven, traveler first is what we say a lot because we mean it. Like we want it to be the best experience for the traveler. And so we realize that with Fusion Medical Staffing, if we aren't calling leads in a certain number of time or doing the things and reaching out to travelers and making sure it's a good experience, that's what we took to Fusion Marketplace and why we decided like we want the travelers to have the best experience ever. So we want the best of the best agencies on the platform because we want them to have that great experience. So we look for partners that either travelers have highly recommended by showing good ratings and reviews, by comments online, by social media, by following, all that kind of thing. And then we also look for relationships that we've had in the industry, like making sure that those agencies also have a great culture, right? A great reputation. They treat their internal staff really well because that's a key indicator of how they're going to treat their external staff. So we look at all those things to make sure we're all on the same page and that they're going to focus on the traveler just like we do.
So you've really handpicked the companies that can come onto Marketplace. It's not just anyone. It's not any fly by night. You've handpicked. You've screened them, know they're all good. That's a nice protection to have. That's great.
Yeah.
Have either of you been to TravCon?
No,
I have not. No.
And are either of you going to TravCon this year?
Not this year, unfortunately. We had another conflict at the same time as TravCon. So we had to kind of divide and conquer with our team here, and we won't be able to go this year.
Fair enough. But I see you have both Fusion Medical Staffing there and you have Fusion Marketplace. Can you give us a sneak peek into what you're planning for TravCon this year from the Fusion Marketplace side?
I think a lot of it will be centered around the native app. So getting the word out that we have that app available in the app stores and getting travelers to download it and give it a shot.
Yeah, definitely a lot of free swag, right? There's always a lot of that. So that will be nice. We have an extra big booth this year. So be sure to come by and say hello because we love giving away free stuff to travelers, especially. So,
and they love it too.
Focused.
Yes, they love it too. They love the excitement. They love the energy that's in the exhibit hall. And we love having you guys there. That's great. Now, if a traveler were to come and they get to your booth and they download your app, can they start fairly quickly? Can they put some info in and maybe save some preferences just to be able to see what jobs are available in less than 5 minutes?
Absolutely. Yep. The sign up process is really easy to get signed in and start looking. So yeah, they can definitely do that in a relatively short amount of time. And then if, need more time to get into that, they can access it at a later date if needed and get their feet wet with it. And then we appreciate any feedback anyone has. So once they start using the app or using, FM or fusionmarketplace.com, any feedback anybody has is always welcome and valued. We like to hear back from our travelers to see how they like the site or if they have any recommendations for future improvements.
Excellent. So they can jump on, they can have a look through, they can save some things, they can do it in segments. They don't have to do it all at once. They can revisit and come back. How do they get the app? What do they search for on their app store?
Search for Fusion Marketplace.
Okay.
And it should come right up.
Perfect. Is it going to be similar to your green icon? It has like an F on it or something?
I think it is our, let me double check which one it is.
Yeah, it's navy blue and it'll say Fusion Marketplace, but it'll kind of be it will say MRKT place.
All right. I look forward to seeing that marketplace grow over the next year. Thank you so much for joining us, Justina, and we appreciate you coming, Carrie. Thank you very much. We look forward to seeing Fusion Marketplace at TravCon this year. Thanks for listening to Travel Nursing and Allied Life. You can find the full show notes below or at travcon.org. Please help us out by rating our podcast on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.